Let me show you what the real problem is. And this is the issue. People are taking to this on social media. They are taking this story to tweet out some really, really stupid stuff. And this is where the it's not Kathleen Kennedy's fault thing comes in. Because this is what they're now trying to say. We have people, probably a lot of bots, repeating that we owe Kathleen Kennedy an apology. How about no?
Renegade Online.
Adam Driver confirms that Disney killed his Kylo Ren Star Wars spin-off film, The Hunt for Ben Solo. So the first thing you should say is, what? He had a film? What are we talking about? What is this? There's been 24 films announced by Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy, none of which have actually made it to the screen yet. Not one. I realize we have one coming next year, but you never know. Okay, that'll be one when it happens. But we've never heard of this. Fans can now add yet another title to the long list of Star Wars projects that failed to launch. In an interview with the Associated Press, Adam Driver, who played Kylo Ren, later revealed to be Ben Solo in the Star Wars sequels that started with The Force Awakens, said he and director Steven Soderbergh spent 2 years independently developing a Star Wars movie called The Hunt for Ben Solo before presenting it to Lucasfilm and Disney executives. It was called The Hunt for Ben Solo, and it was really cool, Driver said. But it's no more, so I can finally talk about it. Okay. Why? When an enthusiastic star and an Academy Award-winning director are unable to sell the executives on another film in an established franchise, it leads us to ask why some stories are, quote, allowed to exist and others cast aside. After 2019's Rise of Palpatine, which ended with Ben Solo's redemption and death, and all the little Reylos screaming in the theaters that they hated Star Wars when that happened, which was awesome. Adam Driver was left unsatisfied with his character's arc. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy had discussed with him the possibility of doing another Star Wars movie, and Driver was open to the idea. I always said, with a great director and a great story, I'd be there in a second. I loved that character, and I loved playing him. Driver had an idea for a movie set after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. He did. He did. Okay. Which he took to Soderbergh, with whom he made 2017's Logan Lucky. Together with Soderbergh's wife, screenwriter Rebecca Blunt, they developed an outline for which they presented to Kathleen Kennedy. Carrie Beck. For those of you who don't know, Carrie Beck is one of the ones that really has worked overtime to stick stupidity and DEI and crap into every Star Wars project out there. And Lucasfilm Chief Creative Officer Dave Filoni, one of the other Lucasfilm girls. After receiving positive feedback, frequent Soderbergh collaborator Scott Burns was hired to write the script. The Hunt for Ben Solo script, Driver says, was one of the coolest scripts I've ever been a part of, and that Lucasfilm loved the idea. All right, so there we have, this is part one. Lucasfilm loved the idea. Ostensibly, Kathleen Kennedy loved the idea. Dave Filoni. Let's go with that. Carrie Beck loved the idea. Okay. Among the film's selling points was reportedly a conservative budget. I would love to know what conservative means in this case. But I digress. Less than $400 million? We wanted to be judicial about how to spend the money and be economical with it, Adam Driver said, adding, and do it for less than most, but in the same spirit of what those movies are, which is handmade and character-driven. But when it was taken, allegedly, to Disney brass Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, co-chair of the Walt Disney Studio System, which Alan Bergman is Kathleen Kennedy's direct boss. Bob Iger is Alan Bergman's direct boss. They said no. They didn't see how Ben Solo was still alive, and that was that, Driver explained. That would be true. Not that that has stopped Star Wars before, but they had literally just killed Ben Solo, and the idea was the next movie would take place after Ben Solo's death and star Ben Solo. I mean, at least at this point, if the movie's dead, you could have told us how that worked. And maybe there would be something, something there. Disney's logic may have had less to do with the realities of Solo's survival and more to do with the rise of Skywalker's astronomical $600 million cost, recently divulged by Forbes. And here's some of the tweets that I'm talking about. They should have made it. Nobody wanted Ben Solo to be dead. Oh, contraire, KJ Gillenwater. There were quite a lot of us. In fact, the majority of the Star Wars fans wanted all of these people to die. We were disappointed that it was only Kylo. I assure you. Let me show you what the real problem is. And this is the issue. People are taking to this on social media. They are taking this story to tweet out some really, really stupid stuff. Okay? And this is where the it's not Kathleen Kennedy's fault thing comes in. Because this is what they're now trying to say. We have people, probably a lot of bots, repeating that we owe Kathleen Kennedy an apology. Let's how about no? Here's the thing. The reality is that the Star Wars movies up to that point were
trash.
Yeah. Just big old stupid
trash.
The sequel trilogy.
Trash.
Solo.
Trash.
Everybody remember The Acolyte?
Trash.
Book of Boba Fett?
Trash.
Mando Season 3?
Trash.
High Republic?
Trash.
Galactic Star Cruiser?
Trash.
Galaxies?
Trash.
How's the merchandise?
Trash.
What happened to the audience after last Gen?
Trash.
Luke Skywalker?
Trash.
Well, I can't, hey, look, the Disney Star Wars fans never get discouraged. And let's read some of the most retarded things that you'll see on the internet today. Walt Disney Studios president Alan Bergman had a big say in the Acolyte's cancellation, which I'm not sure why Star Wars Meg kind of brought this one back up. This was really nothing new, except, I guess, to remind us that Alan Bergman and Bob Iger were also the ones allegedly that killed the Ben Solo movie that Adam Driver was working on. And he murdered Ben Solo with the Acolyte. They need to go. Now, to remind everybody where this came from is this story from not even quite a year ago now. Disney Entertainment co-chair Alan Bergman confesses the Acolyte was a financial disaster. Yes. So was the Disney sequel trilogy. I mean, there's only so much we can...
Trash?
It was trash. It was just...
Trash?
Okay, enough of that. And this is it. They're all getting mad about this. So this is the point. These people are now turning around and saying, see, Star Wars didn't get ruined by Kathleen Kennedy because she's a girl and she's a woman. We can't blame her. We're going to blame Bergman and Iger. They're the ones that really broke it. And we all owe Kathleen Kennedy an apology. Don't believe me? Let's keep reading some of the stupid. You're going to love this one. Star Wars Holocron, which I think is pretty much a shill page for Disney Star Wars, it literally posts this and answers his own question as to why it didn't happen. See if y'all can figure it out. The official Star Wars YouTube channel, this is from today, just posted a clip from the Rise of Skywalker of Rey and Ben Solo versus Palpatine. This comes 2 days after the news of the canceled Hunt for Ben Solo dropped. So we got the story from Adam Driver. He did his interview That was 2 days ago, but it was really yesterday and this morning everybody really found out about it, right? This is when it started spreading out there. Does everybody see the problem? Look carefully. Does everybody see the problem? Come on, chat. Jump in. Nobody? Look at the numbers. The official Star Wars YouTube channel, 4.2 million subscribers. After 1 hour, more than an hour, the public counter had registered 4.4, not 44, 4.4 thousand views. Many of my better performing videos do better than that in an hour. Not a lot of the ones recently because I don't make a lot of original videos anymore. But when I was making original videos, 4,000 to 5,000 in the first hour was very common. This is Star Wars. They put out a clip with 4.2 million subscribers of something that their fan base was telling them, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't do this. We wanted more Rey and Ben. We wanted a Ben Solo movie. Okay, Star Wars drops a clip on their YouTube page and it blows up in their face. Because you damn well know that somebody over there probably dropped this to try to support the fact that, well, Kathy wanted to make this. We know y'all love it. Here it is. Nobody watched it. And I think now it's still less than 20,000 views on the official Star Wars page on YouTube with over 4 million subs. You know, the Mandalorian trailer, the Mandalorian movie trailer has been out for a month, and it's not even broken through 10 million views yet. You're going to tell me that Disney and Lucasfilm are not scared to death of how badly this movie could do next summer? The trailer for Mando Season 2 has like 20 million views. And most of those views happen in the first 2 weeks to a month of a trailer like that coming out. So even though it was 5 years ago, it's been sitting up around 20 million views. All those really came in 4.5 years ago. And the big movie's coming out. Yeah, people don't care. To try to shift the blame over to Bob Iger. And some of this, you know, you got to wonder, it's probably the Kennedy legacy bot machine out there. You know, trying to shift the blame so that when she retires, maybe next year with Bob Iger, that people look more fondly on her and realize that, you know what, Star Wars failed, but it really wasn't Kathy's fault. Kathleen Kennedy's the only one at Disney trying to give us new storylines to explore, but the chodes hate women so much that they don't even realize they should hate Bob Iger. Bro. Hi. Valiant Renegade. Have we met? But to say that Kathleen Kennedy is blameless. Shout it from the rooftops. Kathleen Kennedy approached Adam for the Ben Solo project and Bob Iger killed it. She continues to prove her taste and her understanding of Star Wars. Would you like some crack with your crack? It's once again Bob Iger that's responsible for rushing and canceling. It's, again, the comments are just funny. Oh, look. Star Wars Explained. Y'all remember him? The guy that liked to cosplay as a woman with his wife with a chain around his neck. Wasn't it that guy, this little freaky fruity pie, whatever his name is? We could have had a Ben Solo movie. Thank God we didn't. Lucasfilm said yes. Disney said no. We were so close to peak. Canceling productions like The Acolyte to cater to internet noise. These are all from today and yesterday. From a minority of folks who haven't actually enjoyed a thing from the franchise for years. Meanwhile, passionate sequel fans who don't dunk on Star Wars for money online are denied a treasure trove. Nobody watched The Acolyte. Disney Star Wars fans, listen, this is the problem, right? The problem is consistently, your head is stuck somewhere it doesn't belong. My absolute best advice to these people, to these absolute whack jobs out there. It's a 3-step process. Number 1. Ready? Number 1. Call a proctologist to have your head removed from your ass. Step 2. Call a neurologist because clearly you're brain dead. And step 3, make sure that you call an undertaker and have yourself buried right next to the corpse of Star Wars. So my point is this: be ready for these people to lose their minds even more and go back to Kathleen Kennedy did nothing wrong and it was all Bob Iger's fault. But we all know who did this. We all know who wanted the Force to be female. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.